Welcome to Guns and Gear Network, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in. Today we're going to discuss what I use to detail my FJ Cruiser. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. So today we're going to go over some products that I use to clean my FJ and my other vehicles that I own. And years ago I used to detail cars, and I'm familiar with the different products that are available and things like that. And just these are some products that I've started using over the past few years that I really like. I've had some people ask, whether it be in person or through internet, just ask, hey, what do you use to clean your vehicle? You know, what wax you use, whatever. And so anyway, that's what I'm sharing with you today. And these are some products that I use. All these products I purchased myself. None of them were sent to me by anybody for sponsorship or, you know, to review. Now, I will say, in full disclosure, some of the companies saw some of the videos that I've done over the past, and they sent me more products to try. As a matter of fact, I hadn't even tried some of those. But anyway, what prompted this video to even start was last night I was out here bored like everybody else in this COVID-19 lockdown, and I was just checking my oil, and I saw this wax that I'd bought, and it is this one here, the Chemical Guys Butter Wet Wax. I had used a bunch of different types of waxes over the years. Meguiar's, I used quite a bit of their products and things like that. And so I love waxes that work. I hate waxes, like really hate them, the ones that don't work or are really hard to apply, really hard to remove, and things like that. So I was a little apprehensive, but Chemical Guys gets good reviews on a lot of their products, so I did want to give them a shot and see what it was about. So I came out here last night and started to check my oil, and I said, well, let me try this wax. I just want to try it in one little section, right? Just like a 2 foot by 2 foot spot, just to see what it did. And it was so easy to put on and so easy to take off. I just simply used one of these, which is just kind of an applicator. And I always wet these first, so I don't know why I always have. Just kind of wet them and then wring it all out pretty dry, and then that's what I use to apply it. Notice it's a yellowish color. And anyway, I applied the wax and let it dry for, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and it wipes right off with a microfiber cloth. So that's what I used. It was super easy, and matter of fact, it was dark out here, and I was able to do it almost, if you do a vehicle enough detailing wise, I used to detail cars years ago, so I kind of know where to stop and where to start and how to do it. You can almost do it in the dark, and it was pretty much dark other than a big spotlight I have out here by my driveway. But anyway, Chemical Guys, 2 thumbs up from me, man. They're butter wet wax. If you're looking for a wax, it's kind of hard to tell. I'll do the best I can to show you. But the gloss and the depth in the paint with this is really good. Kind of hard to tell, but I'm sure in this camera. But in person, I did it last night, so I came out this morning to check it and to kind of finish up the truck and just finish up detailing it out. Pollen's been terrible in my area over the last couple weeks, so I was just wanting to come out here and finish it up. I'm sure pollen will be back on it in a day or two, but either way, if every year I try waxing my vehicle a couple times a year. I try doing it in the spring and fall, and the reason I do that is just for protection. We have the harshest times as far as paint in the summer, and then of course the winter when you have possibly salts and things like that on the road. So I try waxing a couple times a year, and so we're real happy with this. So let's look at some products that I have been using, and I'll kind of briefly go over those with you guys. Again, we'll be in my Amazon affiliate store, a lot of these, and get the camera set up. So here is that Chemical Guys Butter Wet Wax, Deep Wet Shine, and it does really good. This one is a natural carnauba wax. They call it a natural carnauba cream wax. But yeah, great product. Happy with that. Trim Shine, I may have mentioned this before. I really like the Stoner's Car Care products. Trim Shine, I got actually turned on to this by a guy that works for a company that does dealership work. So he goes around and does their interiors and things like that. And me and him were discussing detailing one day, and he had a can of this stuff, and it was about empty. But he said, "Here, try that," because he noticed my FJ had a lot of trim, you know, plastic style trim. He said, "Try that stuff, man. It works great. All you have to do is spray it on and leave it." So it does work great. This is an aerosol. I like this for spraying everything down. If you look at all this trim work along here, that will get faded over time if you're not careful, and you just spray this stuff on. What I'll do is I'll wash, wax, clean it all up, then I'll spray everything down, then I go back with a microfiber cloth and wipe around any paint with, the last thing I do is spray wax, wipe down with a microfiber. That gets any residue that's sprayed from the trim shine off the paint and things like that. But I don't worry about it getting on the paint. I'm sure it's gotten on the paint before. I've had no ill effects with it. But trim shine, then this is the non-aerosol. I use this more for spraying it on like a toothbrush or spraying it on like a rag to get in some areas that's maybe tight, or trying to scrub down some molding that's kind of faded or whatever. I'll spray it on a toothbrush and then scrub it, or do like interior work. So I like this better than the aerosol for that. They also make a tire version. I think it's called Tire Shine, but they quit carrying it at my local O'Reilly's. So when that happened, I started buying this called Black Shine. Now this is trim and tire for both, and it's kind of the same principle. It's an aerosol. You just spray it on and leave it. No drips, runs, whatever. This has been really good. I like it on my tires. I don't like a real gloss on my tires, but if you spray it on enough, it's going to be pretty glossy. But I like them more just a nice satin black, and it does good. Spray wax, I go between Mother's and Meguiar's. I like both their products. They're pretty decent. I'm going to try maybe Chemical Guys when I need. This is about, I don't know, I got about that much left in it right there. Once this runs out, I'll probably maybe try the Chemical Guys and see how theirs do. But the thing about this is pretty convenient to pick up. Sometimes Chemical Guys are a little harder to find at your local stores. So if you're like in an O'Reilly's, AutoZone, Mother's, I've had good luck with Mother's and Meguiar's over the years, does pretty good. The other product that I'll mention is Trinova. I've done a video about this. This is their UV protectant spray, and I like this stuff. It has done really well. And all it is think of as like suntan spray for your vehicle or your objects that are outside, whether it be your outside furniture, canoes, kayaks, anything plastic especially, or something painted that you want protected. I found that this stuff works really well. I keep it all on the FJ. I try spraying down like the plastic areas. I'll spray like these vent shades that's got those decals on it. And I've noticed, because I can't park mine in the garage, and on the driver's side, the sun really beats down on that. And I've noticed that since I started using this UV protectant spray, that it does not fade my decals or the plastic quite as it doesn't really do it. When before it would fade them out pretty quick. So this right here has done really well. So, but that's one of the companies that saw one of my videos and has since sent me this to try. This is their waterless wash and wax. So this is a premium rinse-free solution. And this is kind of, I guess, their version of a spray wax, like a detailer wax, that it's actually a concentrate. So this makes quite a bit, if I remember. I hadn't had a chance to use it yet, but I'm going to. And I may try this here soon. But this right here is their, kind of like their detailer spray. And they have good products too, so they get good reviews, and that's what prompted me to try this first. Because I was looking for a solution, because I noticed like my jerry cans or anything exposed to the outside was getting pretty faded over time pretty quick, and so I wanted to try it. So anyway, there's pretty much all the stuff. I do use Krylon Color Master Satin Black for like touching up any trim work or underneath, upper control arms, whatever it need to be painted. I use this spraying underneath fenders. I've learned my lesson years ago. Those little 99-cent cans or whatever they are now, the house brands, you'll see them at Walmart or whatever. You'll use 2 or 3 of those cans compared to 1. So just get a good quality paint to do that touch-up work. Good quality microfiber, I like those. Doesn't have to be good quality, just a decent microfiber. I like these little detail brushes. These work great on the inside and outside of the car. doing different things. This one right here actually has like a rubber tip that's kind of pointed, so you can kind of scrape out stuff and then brush it. I like this one. I bought this, I don't know, AutoZone, one of those places. Just a plain old toothbrush. I never throw away toothbrushes because I use them for cleaning guns, cleaning cars, a lot of things. So just keep all your old toothbrushes, toss them in a wash them up, clean them up good, then toss them in a drawer somewhere and use them. I've had this brush forever. This is kind of a horsehair style. I bet I've had this brush 20 years. And it does good getting dust and lint and stuff out. The only thing I don't like about this one, it sheds. So see that right there? The only thing I don't like about it, it does shed, but it's probably just getting old and kind of dry, so that's part of the problem with that one probably. But anyway, guys, hope that was helpful. You know, the thing about your vehicles, especially off-road vehicles, the more you keep them clean to begin with, they're much easier to get clean and they hold their value. I've had vehicles, I've always been able to get money back out of vehicles. And a lot of times people come to buy a vehicle of mine that I'm selling and they'll say, man, this thing looks great for how old it is or how many miles are on it. You know, I had a Durango. It's four-wheel drive Durango, and it had 200 and some thousand miles on it when I sold it, like 203,000. But it looked like new. I mean, that's because I keep my stuff clean, neat, and do a lot of detail work, keeping the vehicle looking nice. So the effort you put into it will pay it off in the end when you go to sell it or trade it in. And it also, like I said, especially if you do off-roading, it'll help protect your paint. And it's much easier to clean after it gets mud on it, and because it has that layer of protection, so stuff doesn't stick to it as easy. But you got one that hadn't been cleaned in a long time or not kept up with, it's harder to clean that, especially that mud or whatever. And in the winter, it's going to protect it from that salt and so forth. And summer, going to protect it from the sun and the harsh, times during the summer months. Anyway, guys, hope that was helpful. If you got any questions, post those below. If you got any suggestions, products you've tried that you like, be sure to share that with us. Like I said, I will definitely be looking at Chemical Guys a little closer on some of their other products since this wax was excellent. But anyway, guys, appreciate you tuning in. If you got any questions, post those below. As always, like, share, and subscribe.